Changing the brakes on a G37s sedan, 4-door with brembo akebono. G37s sedan. G37s sedan, yeah. Some GTR OEM wheels. Doesn't look too bad. You need a few tools. Maybe like a small point screwdriver, like a star point. So there's like a pin inside. There's like a sliding pin inside. Let me see if I can find it and possibly show it to you. So there's some like a secure pin. What do they look like? Just got these, I didn't even pull them out. Yeah, it's basically some like, it looks like some steel rods. This is what keeps the pads in. Because this is it's special for the G37s. Only the G37s comes with these. When I bought the pads today, it actually came with these. Sometimes the pads don't come with these, so you have to reuse the old ones in the car. But it's a good thing this one came with it, so I don't have to be sanding and greasing and fighting to get them back in. See, so I came prepared. I had a wire brush, and as I say, you're gonna need a pliers and a small point screwdriver to push this said pin in. But I'm gonna show you further on in the video. Yeah, so basically these holes on the side right there is where the pin goes in and it holds the pads in place. Yeah, so these pins goes inside here. It goes inside here and hold the pads in place. But I'm gonna show it to you further on in the video. Yeah, so basically if you know anything about car, you know you have to first jack the car up using a low profile jack, because these cars are a little bit lower than stock. It's a little bit lower than stock. So there's something like a pinch well under here. It's the best place to jack the car up. That way you won't damage the underbody of the car. Yeah. This jack came with some little rubber bushing. Kinda saves and helps you from damaging the car when you're jacking it up, because sometimes when you jack up the car it like slides off, or you know, any other thing like that. So I'm gonna jack the car up, then continue video. By the way, it's best if you release the lug nuts. That way the weight of the car holds the wheels in place so it doesn't turn and give you more trouble when you're taking the lug nuts off. So it's best to release the lug nuts before you put the car up in the air. I'm using a 1/2 inch ratchet angle and the lug nut key and my jack angle. I need to get some tools. In the future I'm gonna get some tools. It's too often sometimes when you have tools and you lend it out to friends, they borrow it and they never return it. So sometimes you just leave them with it and get rid of them, you know. Sometimes you don't really need them. So I'm gonna loosen these as I stated before in the video. Loosen these and then I'll continue the video, show you all the tools you will need, show you the process. Yeah, so jacking the car up, then take the wheel off, because you have to take the wheel off to get to the caliper so you can get the pads off. Yeah, so I took the wheels off already. So as you see, this is not the base G37. This one comes with the 4-piston caliper, which is the Sport G37s Sport come with these. I think it's called the akebono brembo. Yeah, I don't know if they are the same because it's my first time owning a G37. I'm coming from an Acura Q60, you know, my first time. I'm not no YouTube professional. I'm just making a video cause, you know, sometimes I know what it is like to be scammed by mechanics charging you or overcharging you for some brake job, cause I think it's like $30 to $40 to change some brake pads. I'm just changing the brake pads cause rotors are not bad. Hold on, let me turn this light on. Maybe you can get a better. Yeah. When you know the rotor is bad, see if it's warped or scratched. This is not scratched, it's just the pad wear mark on it. And you can see barely has like a groove. You barely can feel it. When it's like you can literally feel your finger, then the rotor needs to be changed. And if you're stepping on your brakes and it vibrates, that means it's warped. So I'm gonna see if I can turn this. Oh yeah, pull it to me. Let me show you exactly what I was talking about. Yeah. So these are the pins I was showing you. These ones are the old and rusted ones. Yeah, these are the old and rusted ones. So you have to take these ones out. Take these ones out, and the pads will come forward to you. So you're gonna push the pin that way. Push the pin that way. First, you have to take out that it's a little safety clip. Let me see if this focus. The camera is not really working with my one. See that little pin right there? Yeah, you have to take it with a plier. Store them. Take it with a plier, right? And then the pin will push that way. Push that way, and then you take it out. My safety pin, the slider pin is tilt back, so the safety pin is actually pointed towards the piston. Towards the piston. Yeah. So basically it's supposed to be pointing out like this towards you, but mine has been twisted inwards to the piston, so I have to turn it forward to me so I can pull the pin forward, pull the pin forward. But let me see, I think it's supposed to be like a little groove here where you can turn the piston. That looks like a Torx bit. I don't know the size. Hold on, let me see if I can get a good view of it. Focus. Yeah, it's like a Torx bit. I don't know the size, so you can hopefully turn it to me. It is actually a star bit. Yeah, it's a star bit, or Phillips as most Caribbean people call it. It's a star bit. So let me show you what star bit. So you can actually put it in there and turn it. See the safety pin turning? See? Yeah, it's supposed to be like that, so you can pull it towards you. Let me see at the bottom what it's saying. Yeah, it's actually good when you can turn it because it makes the job easier. That means this pin will come out easier. Yeah. So this is what the pin looks like. It's a little safety cotter pin. It's a little pin that goes, so you have to pull it out. It was located inside there. So you pull it out. There's two, you know, so you have to remember there's two. There's one for the top and then there's one for the bottom, right? So you pull it out and it should be easier. Then when you pull it out, when I pull it out, I'm going to continue to show you the video. So after you take the pin out, you're going to get a small point screwdriver and push the pin that way. So you're going to push the pin inwards to the body of the car, inwards. Yeah, so you're going to get a small point screwdriver that can fit in between the hole right here. It's roughly the same size as the slider pin, and you bang it inwards towards the car. As I say, I'm not a YouTube professional, neither am I a professional. I just have a little knowledge, a general knowledge of how to work on cars, and I decided to make a little video just to show, just like you know, an entry-level person or a person that's new to the G37, especially G37s package, the sport package. S is for sport. As I was saying, pin has to be pushed in order towards the car. So basically, see, remember there was no, so you have to push it. Sometimes it's a little bit stubborn, so you have to use a hammer or something to tap it right out. So you're gonna tap it right out towards the body of the car. So top and bottom. So remember, you have to take out the safety pin that was inside here, in between the piston, the caliper, you know. So the pin is gonna come inside. As I use the pliers and just rock it just a little bit back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It should get out. But if you're gonna reuse these slider pins or secure pin, because it doesn't really slide, it's basically like a secure pin to secure the pads into the caliper. You don't want to damage these or get the edges too rough, because it's probably going to be hard to go back in, or you're going to damage the caliper. But because I have new ones, I can kind of gamble. So as I say, you have to pull these secure pins out, and this little dust cover, or yeah, it's like a guard, a dust guard, you know. So you're gonna put, it's gonna come out, it has to come out so you can expose the pads. So back and forth, it probably fly out hopefully. Oh yeah, see, it came out. Okay, this one's a little bit stubborn, yeah. So this little part guard goes in there. The pin, slider pin, or the guard pin, secure pin, goes it inside there. Sometimes your pads you buy, depend on the quality pads you buy, don't come with these, neither does it come with the pin, right? So you remember, don't throw these away, don't lose them. And if you're going to reuse them and they're this rusty, you can clean them off, put a little bit of grease on it, so it's easier to go back in the groove, you know. So now you're going to need like a flathead or something like that to push these brake pads back in. You're going to use a flathead, like I have a, whatever this is called. You use it, you're going to push towards the piston, because you want as much space in between here for the new pad, because remember, the new pad is going to be much thicker than the old one. So if you don't do this and you take it out, you're going to have problems. So it's best you get something flat, push in between. Try your best not to damage the rotor and push it towards. They sell tools, but when you don't have the proper tools, as I say, just get like a flathead, put in between the pad and the rotor, and push it towards the piston. You know. Let me see if I can do it one hand, cause no, not really. But see, there's a little gap opening there. So basically, that's what you need, as much as possible. I'm gonna do it and open it, and then I'm gonna continue and show you. Yeah, now see, I use like a flathead screwdriver, the biggest one, so it doesn't bend. And you push it in between the pad and the rotor, and you pull it like this. See? Now there's a gap in between the pad and the rotor. This rotor needs to be changed actually, because the pad is too low. But I'm going to upgrade to some drill and flathead rotors in the summer. Now it's winter time, so I don't really wanna. It's not that it's too cold to work outside on the car, so I'm just doing this in the underground basement. But it's still kind of a little bit chilly because it's not a heated underground basement. But as I say, you're gonna use a flathead screwdriver, and you're gonna push the pads to the piston. The piston is on this side, and the piston is on this side. As I said before, it's a 4-piston because it's a sport. 4 piston, see? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 piston. You can actually let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 4-piston because it's the brembo sport package. Sports come with these, so most times you see people running down the brembo. This is what they go and they add it to their cars for more stopping power, you know. Yeah, so as you see, as I said, you see now the pad is loose because I use the flathead to push the pistons, close them back basically. So now you have to pull the pads out like this. See, you just pull it towards you. As I said before, you just pull the pads towards you. This one's a little bit stubborn too. So you're gonna pull the pads towards you. And this is the passenger side. It's best to start away from the driver's side when you're doing brakes. It's always best because the driver's side is closer to the brake reservoir where you fill the brake fluid. So you always want to start away from the driver's side. So now I'm doing the passenger side. See, I took the pads out. And a good thing before you go any further when you buy the pads, especially if you're working on a G37s, you take the pads and you compare them. See, that way at least you know you have the correct part, you know. You see how it's similar? Because the sports come with these little hole in the pads where this little pin goes and it holds it in place. As I say, it's like a secure pin. So now when you pull it apart, you can double check just to make sure. For a peace of mind, you know? For a peace of mind, you just double check everything. See? It's the same, right? It's the same pad, right? I knew I forgot something when I was buying the pads too. You need brake cleaner. It's not necessarily needed, but the brake pads often have like transport material, something to, you know, protect the padding itself. So what I normally do, I rub it on the ground just to kind of, and actually when you rub it on the ground, it makes the pads grab faster than when you put it on and down, because it's like it has to be burnt in to make it work. So that way it's actually a little bit worked in. So I rub it on the floor as flat as possible just to get a little bit of the transport grease or whatever they use material on. It's not really grease, because grease don't go on pads or brake system. You don't want to get grease nowhere near your brake system. So I rub it a little bit, you know. There's dirt on it, but don't worry, the car will actually burn it off by itself. But it's just like something I do, you know. Brake cleaner would have worked best, but I don't have any. And this is actually dirt, but don't worry about the dirt, I'm going to clean it off. The driver's side and the passenger side is the same principle to get them in. So now, remember, as I said, these special pads for the S. So you make sure the pin holes are facing towards the piston. Alright, so you're going to insert them. As I say, you just slide it in. So you're going to insert it. So you just push it in. See, that's one in place, right? It's almost lined up with the hole for the secure pin. So you're gonna put the other pad on this side. So let me just grab it and just put it here. Right, so here's the other side of the pad. As I said before, so slide up the secure pin hole. It's supposed to be facing towards the piston. So this one is going to be facing you. So as I see, you're going to take it and you're going to insert it. You're supposed to just insert it. Hold on. I think this piston needs to be pushed in a little bit more. Let me see. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this piston needs to be pushed in a little bit more. But I can use my one hand kind of shimmy it in. Yeah. So yeah, as I said, remember I was saying to you, you don't push the piston in, the pad is going to be a little bit harder to go in. So that's why. So yeah, going in now. It's a little bit hard to go in, so you're gonna use a flathead screwdriver and kind of pry the other one inside. And you just push it in. It's supposed to be going easier than this, but that's why you have to squeeze the pistons squeeze these pistons in. So there's, as I said, there's some on this side and there's some on that side. So you have to squeeze both sides in. See now the pads are in, are secured. Yeah, so let me just get the secure pins. Yeah, so these are the secure pins. These ones are brand new, so I don't have to clean them and grease them up. Actually, I don't have to clean them. You want to put a little bit of grease so it's easy to go inside the groove. So it's easy to go inside the groove, you know? So it's easy to go inside the groove to hold the thing in, the dust guard in for the pads. So don't want to forget your pins. This one didn't come with a brand new, with a new dust guard or hard guard, so you're going to reuse this. It's just like a tensioner basically for the pin. So you're going to put it back in. Basically the same way you take it out. You're going to insert it and put it in place, and then you can put a little bit of grease on the secure pin just on the tip, so you can get it inside the groove to push it across. This pin is going to push this little centerpiece inwards, as it has to keep pressure on this little plate here, you know. So you're gonna want the pin holes to be facing you. So you're gonna those holes in that hole right. Hold on, let me get a small screwdriver. That hole right there in between there, you want it to be facing basically flat. So you're gonna use your pliers if it's not facing flat, and turn it flat towards you. I think the factory, you know what, I'm gonna reuse the factory. The factory pin is better because it comes with the Phillips head, so you can turn it. The aftermarket one does not come with it. And say in the future you want to change the brakes and it's hard, you don't have the Phillips head, to turn it. So I'm not going to reuse these, but I'm going to keep them. I'm going to use the original factory one. It's the best idea. It's a little bit rusty, but I'm going to clean it up. Remember, I brought the wire brush, so that's why I brought the wire brush. I'm going to clean it up and reuse it. So I cleaned the pins up a little bit. It's not perfect, but it's better than what it was. As I say, the reason why I'm reusing these, because it has Phillips head. In case it's a little tight inside here, you can use Phillips screwdriver or the star bit, and you can turn it to make it a little bit looser so you can get it out. The one that I got with the brake pad does not have the Phillips head. It does not have it. See the difference? It's just level basically. So say if I use this and later on down the line when I want to change it, it's basically stuck. I can't do nothing more than get a screw pliers and grab it and twist it, turn it, twist and turn it, you know. But with the OEM one, I can use star bit screwdriver and I can turn it. You see the way it's turning in between my fingers? Basically like that, to loosen it so I can pull it out. I put a little bit of grease on it so it slides in the hole easier. Remember I was telling you? It's supposed to hold this here, move it. So you have to use your finger and push it in. See? It goes straight through. So it goes straight through, back, and comes out to the front just a little bit. Then you're going to put the safety pin back in between it so it stays in place. Because if you don't put your safety pin in and you drive in the car and this pin slides out, you don't want that. Because remember, the rotors are spinning forward and backward. You step on the brake, it's going to push the pads out, and then you're not going to have any brakes. It's the same for both sides. And this is only the front because I'm not doing the rears today. This is only the front. And as I said, it's best to start from the passenger side, far away from the driver's side. because the brake fill cylinder is over there, the reservoir is over there. So the 2009 G37s, just gonna give you guys a small walk around. Some GTR OEM wheels. This is what I'm saying. Brake cylinder is over here where you fill the brake fluid over here. You want to start away from the driver's side. So as I say, I did the passenger side first. I didn't do the driver's side as yet. But I don't have to really show you the driver's side because it's the same principle. The same exact thing. It's just that it's opposite. But it's the same exact thing. It's just the opposite. This car actually looks good, you know. With the OEM wheels, for OEM wheel it looks good because this car is a big body. Yeah, it actually looks good, trust me. If you guys have any other question about the car or anything like that, you can just make a comment. As I say, I'm not a YouTube professional. It's my first video, but I have a little bit of knowledge about cars, so if you wanna ask, I can give you some pointers, you know. Why is this camera okay then? But yeah, nice fitment too, you know. It's nice fitment. It's actually tucking now because the car is jacked up on one side. It's winter time, so the car is actually lift for winter driving, right? And it's a manual. I didn't show you guys that. It's a 6MT. It's a G37 6MT. I was playing some music. Okay, that's this one. So it's manual again. 6 speed. Oh, before I forget, so you don't really need much tools, as I said, because it's not like a regular car where you have to take the caliper off. It's not like a regular car. Let me see. It's not like a regular car. Some cars you would have caliper bolts, you pull them and you flip the caliper up or you flip it down and you take the pads off. But with this, because it's not a regular caliper, you don't have to take no caliper bolts out and flip it up or flip it down. This one you just take the slider pin and you slide it, the secure pin. I keep saying slider pin because I'm used to working on a Honda, as I said. So it's not a whole bunch of tools. You just need to take the wheel off. You just need a small point screwdriver to push the pin inwards towards the car. A star point is best because it's multi-purpose. Because as I say, you're gonna need it to screw the OEM slider pin, and that's it, as I will remember. So before I end the video, let me just show you exactly why I was saying to turn the hole, the safety holes towards you. So this is the safety pin. You wanna insert it back in there. See, insert it. So you're just gonna basically just push it in to where you feel it locks. Cause there's like, let me, where's that one? There's like two little, see, it's supposed to be locked in between here. So you push it from here to here where you feel it locked right in between there. That keeps it in place, secured, so it doesn't slide back out, and the pin itself slide out, you know. Yeah, so that's it for this video today. I know it's a little bit long and a lot of talking, but the talking did explain the video and explain everything to you. Again, I'm not a YouTube professional. It's my first video and I'm just trying, you know. Yeah, so I finished doing both front brakes. So just the last walk around.